You got to know what you're doing, put in work, surround yourself with the right people, right?
Quote. What is it? There's multiple routes to the same destination or something like that, or multiple. I don't know, something like that. It was.
I mean, that's
the lines
true.
of
Yeah.
what we're saying though.
But I mean, there are going to be a lot of different routes because we're all individuals and we all
exactly
everything that makes us individuals is what makes our individual journey different.
There's different ways to skin a cat. That's what it is, I think.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Elite Sales Podcast. I'm joined in the studio this week by Jonathan Reynoso. How long you been with us now?
So I got my license back in January, but I was just kind of like a lost soul, just wandering around, not really into it. I officially became full-time June 17th, so just turned about 2 months full-time.
Okay. So back in January, how did you get into the whole insurance business anyway?
So I came from the construction industry.
Yep.
Been doing this since I graduated high school. Was getting paid good. My manager actually there was with FFL. He told me about it. I just kind of wiped it off, didn't really take it serious.
But how long did he tell you about it before you actually did anything?
Probably like 2 weeks, to be honest, because I'm always looking for more information. So right away I got on YouTube, seeing all these crazy numbers, and right away I got on getting licensing. Yeah.
Okay. So what about that attracted you? Just that you could do more, make more?
Obviously the money's always gonna attract people, but it's also I was very not in a good environment. I was making good money, but it just wasn't for me. So I was already looking for a new opportunity, and it just seemed like something I could fit in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once you made the decision that you could see yourself doing it, then you took your course.
Yeah, I probably took me around 3 weeks to get licensed. After that, it was just kind of very part-time since I was still working full-time on my other job. And even part-time, I was probably only doing maybe 15 families a month, and did that for about 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're also joined in the studio this week by Clifton Henry of FFL Generational.
You guys living?
You were meeting him in Miami?
No, I didn't. Wait, no, I don't remember.
I remember meeting Jonathan at a national convention in Miami.
Yeah. Top Golf. Yeah.
Oh, you were at Top Golf.
Yeah.
Right. I think I saw your face, but we never actually.
Yeah. We didn't meet properly. Yeah.
Came in with the crew and there's a lot of people there in the night.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Yeah, I didn't even know anything about FFL, and I still went to Miami, so I'm definitely wanted to get more information.
Nice.
I mean, there's worse places to go for information than Miami, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so did you get a chance to talk to a lot of people at convention?
Yes and no. Obviously, I felt there's so many, big people out there in this industry. It kind of feels like you're just like wandering around, but you got to make yourself uncomfortable to get the information that you need.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, it's kind of a natural thing. A lot of people, they go to these big events, and sometimes there's a fine line to walk in terms of being humble and also not asserting yourself enough, because the whole point of these events is for you to gain information, for you to learn more about it, to figure out how you fit in, what you would like to do, what you would, if for whatever you would like to accomplish, like go talk to people that are actually doing it.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get stuck in them, but that's the beautiful thing about what we do, about sales in general, but just here, Family First Life in particular, just you got to talk to people.
Yeah.
If you want to make money, you want to grow, you got to talk to people.
Agreed.
Yeah. If I see that you're doing even a little better than me, and if you haven't got a message from me, just wait on it, because you probably will get a message. I'm not afraid to message anybody. I don't care if you don't reply to me. I'm going to send you a message and either you answer me or not, but I'm always going to look for that information.
Love it.
Yeah.
He reached out to you before, right?
Yeah. It was just random. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm telling you, if I haven't
messaged
you, just wait on it.
I remember Cliff the big time. I was gonna say, I remember Cliff you messaging Cliff and Cliff being like, "Yeah, you're not on my team. I'm not gonna help you."
I definitely
Remember
did say that. I definitely did say that.
I think I remember that.
I'm
yeah.
always willing to help out anyone who asks, but yeah, it was it was just unexpected. I was like, oh shit, don't I know him? Oh snaps, don't I know him?
Yeah.
And because I always see you dropping bombs in the group, whatever. So I'm like, oh, I know exactly who this is, but
Yeah.
yeah,
What you ask him about?
I think it was. I think he.
I
Asked me
think it was about recruiting. Yeah. So
recruiting.
I asked, I want to know everything. Like Bradley told us, seek more information every single day. So if I see you're doing better than me, I want to know how you did it. What do I have to do to get there at least? And I'm always looking for it. Always looking for it.
Nice.
So let's go back to your journey here so far. Then, so you joined in January, went to convention, kind of did part time.
Yeah.
What made you decide to go full time?
So obviously on our group meet, you see all these crazy numbers, and some of them are kind of just unbelievable. It's like, what? Like, no, but it's real, right? And so probably towards the maybe May or so, May, June, I just really started dreading my job. I just got up every day, dragging my feet out of bed. And it got to the point where I like, you know what? No, I need to do this. This has to work, because I had no plan B. This has to work. So, because I don't know anybody that had a plan B and didn't need to use it. So, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to give myself a plan B. This is my plan A. This has to work. So, probably 2 weeks prior of that, I said, you know what? This is my last day of work. And I started right away. Yeah.
Well, you had reached out to me and said like, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this full time."
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then you said you just wanted to pick my brain a little bit.
Yeah.
Had you already quit by that point?
Probably not. I was probably getting ready though. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like, okay, well, if you're gonna go full time, I mean, like, it definitely can work.
Yeah.
But are you willing to let go of all the things that you had before and willing to
Exactly.
just buy into this brand new?
Yeah, so I had a lot to lose. Like I was telling now, bro, I have a mortgage, I have car payments, I have a family to take care of. I had a good paying job. I had everything to lose, but I knew if I applied the same work ethic that I had over there, if I simply just apply it over here, everything would turn out fine. And it's been a blessing.
So what do you think was your biggest concern when you decided to go full time? Like, what do you think was going to be the biggest challenge?
Well, the biggest challenge was probably just trusting in myself. But then sometimes you just gotta, I got to here doing this. It's no different anywhere else. Just do the same thing you've been doing. Just treat it like a job, basically.
Well, so we were talking earlier. We're like, what's been the biggest challenge for you so far? Because you said the mechanics of what we do, it's not hard, right?
No, simple.
So I'm not saying I'm not saying it's an easy job. It's clearly not an easy job. Or, I mean, if you're running your business, it shouldn't be easy. If it's easy, that means you're not challenging yourself. You're not really getting out of your comfort zone. You're not really growing.
Yeah.
But then, as far as what we do itself, it's simple.
Yeah.
When people fill out a lead, you call them, you set an appointment, you go out and see them. You help them best you can.
Yeah.
I have a question for John. So obviously, like labor, whatever it may be, you're in the construction industry, going into sales, they might see that. Most people would say that that's kind of like opposite careers, right?
Definitely.
What would you say to someone that's maybe in the field that you were in, that's looking to transition and kind of do what you did?
So I could definitely say, coming here, it really opens your mind. So you just got to be open to trying something new. Okay. And you have to be willing to know that there is better out there. And you just got to get out that little bubble you're in and just put more air in your bubble. And there is more better opportunities out there.
So when you're working construction, were you like out in the sun all day long?
Oh, so you have everything. You have, the rain, snow, heat, you name it, you're in it. So I did that for 6 years, and I was only there because you get used to that paycheck. That paycheck was paying all my bills. So I was terrified coming here. But then I said, you know what? Obviously, part-time, I had a little taste of it. I know what I could do. So I simply told myself, if I could simply just put in these hours I've been doing it here, apply it here, it's going to work. It has to work. Everybody else is doing it. Why would it not work for me?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, plus that, and, I guess for a career track, you don't want to be in your 50s and 60s still
Yeah,
put
exactly.
in that
That
labor rate.
yes, that's what I would tell my wife all the time. Like, dude, by the time I'm 50, you're gonna be pushing me around in a wheelchair. This job is physically demanding.
Yeah,
And,
like-
and I have to give her some props because she's the one that told me, hey, you know what? By this day, I don't care what you do, but I'm gonna call your boss if you don't quit. And by that day, I was working here.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
So
that's-
I got to give her some props too, for sure.
It's nice to have that support at home.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Well, I mean, because we used to work for this company that we worked with unions,
mhm.
and every once in a while we see a union member.
Yeah.
But then like especially the labor heavy ones, like if they're in their 50s and 60s, like by the time we went to go see them, like they were beat up.
Yeah.
They were like struggling just to get around. It's just it's like life's too
out.
short for that.
Yeah. It's a good paying industry. But like there's a lot, it pays good for a reason, right? You know, you have to put your body through it. Probably spend less time with your family. A lot of people travel out of state. So you, like I said, you just got to be open to new opportunities and just be ready to work.
And I got a ton of respect for those people. I mean, like don't mistake what I'm saying. You know, I think for any honest work, there's level of nobility to it. You know, but when it comes to like something that physically intensive, that's so laborious. I mean, the thing is, you can't enjoy your quality of life when you finally do get a chance to retire.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you may not even be there to be able to do it.
I was just gonna say that, like, a lot of the people that we, had to be in contact with at the old company, like, we would try to book appointments. We're like, when do you get off work? 5, whatever it may be. But they were so beat by the time we got there, so tired that
done.
like it's almost that's like their one free time to like just chill, and we're over
Mhm.
here trying to book appointments with these
Mhm.
guys. So it's just like people don't think about that. Yeah, you're only working, 9 to 5 or whatever it may be, maybe 8 hours, 10 hours a day, but the rest of the hours you're so beat that you
Yeah.
essentially your whole week's gone. It's tough.
Yeah. Shower, dinner, sleep,
That's
back
it.
at it.
And you're working like pretty uncomfortable, especially if you're trying to beat the heat in a lot of these places, right? You got to get up extra early, and
Yeah.
so
You're there all day.
now you've hopped into this full time. So
Oh, I think
physically, how do you feel?
I
Versus,
think I'm spoiled now. I tell we're in the AC.
Yeah.
Obviously, probably the only heat I get is when I'm from my car walking to that door. That's the only type of sun I probably get.
Yeah.
So I mean, what more do you want?
so you're still doing primarily most of your business face to face with clients.
Yeah, probably 80%. What I actually been trying to implement is obviously Monday through Wednesday, I'll do all my in-home stuff, and then Thursday through Saturday, I'll try to do everything telesales.
Because you got a couple kids. So.
Yeah, I have two little girls, but mainly because I just think you telesales is just an extra tool you can put in your bag, and it's obviously I think it's the future. So you either get with it, you're gonna get left behind.
Yeah, with the virtual and telesales platform now, a lot of people come in just doing strictly telesales or strictly virtual. I mean, did you make a decision to go face to face first, or
Yeah, just because I feel like I'm a very people feel comfortable around me. They don't. I feel like I'm good at releasing that sales pressure. And I always thought this is easy. As long as I get in their door, it's done. So, but I noticed I struggle a lot more with telesales. But obviously it's something that you need to get used to. A lot of practice.
and for those of you that are out there that haven't started yet, I mean, my personal recommendation would still be to go in person.
Yeah.
Learn figure that part out first, because the thing is, you can always learn the telesales and the virtual sales on the back end, because you don't need anything for that.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is just get on a call and get on your computer. But if you're still trying to figure this thing out, you're trying to learn the whole sales process. Face to face is the fastest and best way to learn, in my opinion.
Yep.
You get to actually see the person sitting across from you. You get to read their body language. You got to see what their facial expressions are telling you. There's a lot more, intuitive things that you probably can't pick up just strictly talking to someone over the phone. So if you guys are figuring out which route to go, start with the in person first. I mean, that's what I will always continue to recommend.
Same.
Because have you done any telesales and virtual sales?
I've done maybe a handful,
Yeah.
and I guess it was like more of like a 40% closing for that. But I'm not gonna lie. I like in person a lot more, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't really like this telesales. Not saying it's bad or anything. I just like being face to face with someone, talking to them, like joking around with them, whatever the case might be. You know what I'm saying? Building that rapport with them. I feel like the process of the sale is just easier to understand when you're face to face with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just like that connection. I mean,
Yeah.
you just like you built that relationship with that person right there. And I love when they feed you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, tell me about it.
I'm not for the food. It's just like it's nice to be like this person sees me as another human being because
Yeah.
I'm trying to connect with them. And
Yeah, it's a lot easier to connect it to them when they're at their house.
Yeah.
So, like just last week, this lady, she was just telling me like, I live here by myself. Look at all these trees I have to trim up, and she lives in maybe 15 minutes away from me. I simply tell her, hey, call me one weekend, I'll come and help you out. And she just started crying. She said, I didn't think you would do that for me. I'll do it. Just call me up. I'll come and help you.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I'm good at. I have a really big heart for people. And they see it, and it just shows.
Yeah, anytime you can genuinely connect, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
So we were talking earlier about your biggest challenge so far, and that's overthinking the whole buying leads part. Like what goes into that?
Yeah. So I'm very, oh, maybe I should spend my money here. Maybe I should spend it there. At the end of the day, it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. It's how much you have of it.
Yeah.
So probably only spend maybe 1,000 a week on leads right now. And I'm averaging around 25 families a month. And mainly, obviously you can never go wrong with mailers. Mailers are always solid leads, but again, also having some internet, some Facebook final expense. I've sent out my own mailers. All that plays a part.
Yeah. So you said the majority of your leads are CRM leads.
Yeah, almost probably 80%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you say for all the people that say like, oh, people are not interested or they don't pick up or?
Yeah, well, you're gonna have that. You're basically looking for those few people that do want it. They're get as much no's as you get. Let's get to the next yes.
Okay. Yeah. You can outwork any problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny too. When you're talking about spending 1,000 a week on leads. We're actually Marlon posted this old picture. This is from 2 years ago.
Yeah, about 2 years ago.
It's been a while, and then we're like that was such a different time in our lives, like as little as like 2 years ago. And then we're just looking at it, and he's like back then that was before I started spending 2,000 a week on leads.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
he said that.
And you think about how much financially things have changed for him, how much he's grown, not just professionally but personally. It's all because you make that leap. You decide I'm gonna commit to my business.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter what you're spending in or what you're investing into. You just have to have some steady flow of
Yeah.
leads.
Yeah. But you also kind of have to give yourself a shot, especially being new.
Yep.
Your goal is to get the biggest, outcome out of your leads to, continue with your business. So if you're spending, $200 and you're expecting to make all this money, it's not going to happen. You give yourself a shot. As long as you know to yourself, you have to be honest with yourself. I'm going to work these leads and work those leads, and get it done.
Have you been through weeks where you've went through all your leads and didn't get anything?
No.
No.
Until this day, I don't have not 1 week that I didn't get anything.
I mean, there's no wrong answers to that. I was kind of hoping you'd say, yeah, it's 1 week I bombed because
No.
because it does happen.
Or
from time to
actually,
time.
yeah, one time only. I actually spent, I don't know, it was over $1,000 on new internet leads.
Yeah.
That was my first week trying to telesell.
That was your first week. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't sell not one thing, but I still had the stash, I still had the
Went back
pile
to it.
of leads. I was like, you know what? I didn't get nothing. Let me see if I could get something out of it now. And just last week, I think I helped 2 families out of that little pack. I was like, okay, now we got something out of it. Let's move on.
Well, I mean, I think that kind of proves the point. I mean, like you didn't get anything out of it that week, but you're trying something different.
Yeah.
You're trying to do telesales, right?
Yeah, it was my first week. Probably learned a little bit along the way, and I was able to help out 2 more families out of just that little stash I had.
Right.
And they're probably 3 months old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for anyone out there that's new, if you're just trying out leads for the first time, or you're dialing for the first time, or you bought that many leads for the first time, like be okay with that. Like it's fine. You're gonna mess them up. Like if it's something different and something new, like you should anticipate that you may not get the results that you're anticipating up front, because first of all, you don't have the skill level or the experience to be able to get those type of results yet.
Facts. Usain Bolt took 6 years to be the fastest man in the world.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to fail before you get that win.
It took him how many years?
6 years.
6 years?
Yeah, he was trained. He was always losing in the beginning, always. And then
Mm.
he kept training. And his coach actually put him in the 400 to train him for the 100. And then ever since he's just got out that, and then started running, like doing 100, killing the game. He just came out of nowhere, to be honest, because before then, Asafa Powell was killing the game from Jamaica. I'm not sure if you know who
Yeah.
Asafa Powell was. Then once Usain Bolt was done, obviously training for that 6 years, he came out a beast. Sometimes you got to go through them struggles and go through that terrain before you get them wins.
Yeah. You definitely compare yourself to others, especially in this business. But like how a lot of people say, don't compare your day one to their day 1,000. So, just stay in your spot, stay humble. I'll be ready to work every single day. I don't have a work schedule. I work whenever I can work. Like if I have to work on Sundays, I personally don't work Sundays, but if I have to, I will. I'm happy to go work.
Yeah.
Because I make my schedule.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you also know you're your own boss now.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's interesting you brought up the whole Usain Bolt thing, because I think that's a part of like top level athletes that people tend to overlook. They just look at the wins.
Exactly.
Right. But then you don't look at all the training, the preparation, the losses, the hurt, the pain, all the other stuff that like I forgot what we were talking about. We were talking about something about the whole process, and it's like something like easy or hard. If it's something like easy or hard, I mean, easy or hard's like it's all whatever we decided once we want it to be.
Exactly.
Right. Because the thing is, like, the act of calling somebody, like some people might say it's really easy, some people might say it's really hard. In reality, it's neither.
Yeah.
Really, we're just calling. Like
just an action.
If you decide you decide you're going to tell yourself this is really hard, it's going to be really hard.
100%.
If you decide to tell yourself it's easy. So I mean, I think that's also the same thing when it comes to someone like Usain Bolt. All those times he lost, like you could look when you lose or you face adversity, you can tell yourself, oh man, this sucks. Like it can't be done, and you give up. You never get a chance to experience that gold. But if you look at the loss and you keep it with the right perspective and just think, okay, well, I know I can do better than this, or I know that if these guys are running at this speed, I can do the same thing if I train, if I put in the work. So we just have to keep things in perspective and realize the struggle and the pain, all that stuff. It's part of the process.
Yeah.
So we also were at the Vegas training a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So what you think of the experience?
Oh, it was awesome. That Monday when I came back, I remember Bradley, he said, gather up all the little wins. All the little wins are the most important. So I remember my next run day and my next out day from that point, that meeting, I booked the most appointments I ever booked, and I also helped the most families I helped in a day. And simply by making my bed in the morning, going to the gym in the morning, having a healthy breakfast in the morning, having an hour to yourself, just focus. All those little wins will make such a big impact. And if it wasn't for him that told me, hey, gather up all those little wins, I wouldn't have had that.
Yeah. I mean, we got to build a momentum.
Yeah.
And if you wake up, I've done this before. I mean, like you wake up late sometimes, and then your whole schedule gets thrown off, and then you just feel like you're at a deficit the whole day.
Yeah.
There's nothing to look at for wins, but little things like waking up early and just making your bed, going to working out, doing whatever you need to do and get like you feel ready.
Yeah. Even if I feel like if I haven't got enough wins that morning, I will make up anything to get my wins. Like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna clean my room before I leave. I want another win. And just like that, you build that momentum in yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
What was his quote? He said, like, confidence is just experience. I wrote it down somewhere. But it's just something about like experience, something that you've already experienced. Confidence is knowing that you've already experienced this.
Yeah.
Right. So I butchered that totally, but
Experience meets preparation, maybe. I've heard that one before.
something along those lines.
Yeah.
But as far as his specific training, like what other stuff have you started applying to your own business?
So it's crazy how he says that, that he was gonna get to integrity before us.
Yeah.
I like, wow, this guy, he has that advantage on me. But you know what? That kind of pushes you more, you know what? I need to get on this. I need to build my team. I need to get on that, because I want to be there.
How big is this team? Like how many families do we know? Do you know?
I don't know the specifics, but
We don't care.
Yeah. I mean, I like the competitiveness. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm curious.
I'm for it. If I see that you're doing more families than me, I'm find a way to beat you next time. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. If someone else is doing it, why can't you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Simple as that.
But yeah, I mean, I think the biggest takeaway, I think we talked about this last time, is it's just like he said, if you knew twice the people that you know now, you'd have twice what you have.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I've heard that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Was it like on one of his Instagram posts or something like that?
I'm sure. I don't know. He's always posting. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure you might have seen it,
Yeah,
or we
someone
might
sent
have
it to
been
me or
talking
something like-
here.
Yeah, one of the two.
But I mean, yeah. So I mean, you've actually started picking up on your social media.
Yeah, I try to. I mean, whatever, if the fish grabs it, it grabs it. But I at least try to post a couple things every single day. Just because you got to put your name out there. You have to let people know what you're doing, and people like consistency.
No.
So if they see you're kind of in and out, not really fully committed, why would they even join your team? You
Right.
know, so they have to know that you're fully committed to it, and then they'll see, and they'll want to to come work with you.
Mm.
Yeah.
What's up? I mean, so that's ultimately your goal to build a team.
Yeah. So I told myself by December I have to be at Logo, and I'm gonna do that.
There it is.
By logo, that's 100 families helped in a month.
Yeah.
If you want to know the specific numbers, reach out to one of us. We
Yeah.
can give you the specific numbers. But
Yeah. But I'm throwing it out there already. By the end of the year, I have to be at Logo.
you have a specific game plan for that?
Simply by working myself, meaning spending more on leads, helping more families, reaching out to all my warm market.
To
Posting.
bring them on board, to get them
Yeah.
covered insurance. Like,
No, bring them on board. To work together to get to that. Yeah.
okay. So then-
John has the quote:
No, was it-
"Confidence is the memory of winning."
oh yeah. So, there's something similar, even though it said nothing like that.
Yeah.
I feel like everything is the same, but just worded differently in life. Like all these quotes, all these sayings, all these like Instagram posts. It's like, oh, interesting, but it's like saying the same thing as things you've heard in the past. These things are tried and
perspectives,
true, you know.
perspectives.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, things that work and success it's not all that different.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's it could be like cross different sports or business or whatever. Like there's pretty much one way of doing it. Like there's like different like iterations of it, but you got to know what you're doing, put in work,
Yeah.
surround
Yeah,
yourself with the right
like that
people.
one
Right?
quote.
Like,
What is it? There's multiple routes to the same destination or something like that, or multiple. I don't know, something like that. It was.
I mean,
along
that's
the lines
true,
of
yeah.
what we're saying though.
but I mean, there are going to be a lot of different routes because
Yeah.
we're all individuals and we all
Exactly.
everything that makes us individuals is what makes our
What?
individual journey different.
There's
Yeah.
different ways to skin a cat. That's what it is, I think.
Well, there is that too. But,
Yeah. Ain't nobody's
Yeah.
getting catch.
why would you want to skin a
Yeah.
cat?
It's a saying, guys.
I
Come
know,
on.
it's just weird. Well, we're talking to Cliff the other night about and we've actually been talking to you for a while about social media. So what?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
But why do you not post?
Oh man, you're gonna put me on blast.
Yeah.
Well,
If I had a Zoom, I would zoom on.
I'm saying there's a few reasons, but I feel the main one is just me being too in my head, my own thoughts, and holding myself back from actually being consistent and posting on social media. And talking to Yoel, talking to Albert, we've been talking about this for a long time. But long story short, I ended up making the decision to just do it and just not hold back because I don't remember the exact way the quote was said, but Albert posted this one quote on social media recently. and he tagged me in it. It was something about I can't even remember.
Fear of failure, people get hung up too much on fear of failure, fear of rejection, whereas regret is the only real thing.
Exactly. So that quote, that one, I was like, oh man, after I kind of like feel like things happen in life for a reason. So we had that conversation, then that post happened right after. And I was like, man, like regret is actually the biggest thing out of everything. And I don't want to sit there, a year from now, 2 years from now, regret not doing what I needed to do to get to where I need to get to, for my own personal growth and for the growth of my business. So I just made the decision to just do it. Like if I feel some type of way, if I feel a little shy or whatever the case might be, just get it done. Because once you get it done, now you can move on. And it's like, well, I got it done. You know what I'm saying? Whether it worked out or not, I got it done. I don't got to think about it anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, yeah, it was a failure and rejection are both answers.
Exactly.
It may not be the answers you want, but they're answers.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas regret is always going to be an unanswered question.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm way too in my head to not get these questions answered. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way.
So whenever you guys are doubting whether or not to post, just think about Cliff.
I'm the perfect example, guys.
Well, I mean, yeah, we got nothing to lose. I mean, I used to be that way for a little bit. Yeah, most of the time I just didn't post it. I'm like, I don't think I have anything interesting to say. When I always feel like I do conversationally because I'm at least asking people questions and trying to figure out what they're thinking because I want to see if my way of thinking is way off or like I'm kind of pretty close to what other people are thinking. So we all have something to offer. Just be you. Just post about stuff that post about stuff that makes you happy. Post about stuff that you feel accomplished about. Doesn't mean everyone has to like it.
Yeah. I always use other people's posts. If I look at your story and I like your post, I'll just repost it on mine. Yeah. I use other people as your advantage too.
Right. Yeah. And that actually helps them too.
Yeah.
You're further putting it out there. So, all right. So I want to ask you our normal questions. So, if an agent's struggling, what's a piece of advice you would give them?
Struggling. Well, first, I mean, you have to know the root of the problem. Struggling with if he's not helping enough families, then we got to find out, how many leads are you getting? If he has enough leads, okay, let me see your script. And so it all depends on what the root of the problem is. But that's why, like how I'm not scared to ask questions. I'm not scared to ask for help. I know a lot of people out there that are scared to ask for help. They have just a big ego. At the end of the day, you're just gonna hurt yourself. Right. So you have to be open to, I text you all the time. I text Terrence like crazy. Respect to him because I text him a lot. YouTube videos like crazy. You always have to be able to find the information you need, but you have to go look for it. No one's gonna go look for it for you. So just be open to, ask your questions. Don't be scared to ask questions.
And just be resourceful.
Yeah.
Right. It's funny though. I mean, when you first made that transition, you used to text a little bit more often, and then as time has gone on, like you text me less and less.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I see as a good thing because it just, and not because I don't want you to bother
the questions
me.
are just
better. He's growing.
Right. You're knowing the answers now.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then obviously the questions are now different. Before it was just, oh, what do I write for this person? Right. And now it's like, okay, how do I, get more recruits in? So the questions always change. Just don't ever stop asking questions. So, yeah.
I think that's kind of like beautiful as well, because like the ones that are actually putting in the work and asking these questions, and then you can kind of see their growth and how they're developing, and now they're looking towards building their business as far as like recruiting and whatever the case might be. I think that's pretty cool to see, like, where you started and where you're at right now. Just imagine where you're going to be another 6 months from now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think questions tell a lot about people too.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you're asking a question because you're new, it's normal.
Yeah.
But if you're asking that same question like 6 months later, it's have you not been working? Have you not been paying attention? Have you not been trying to like absorb some of this stuff? Because I mean, it's not that you have no one to ask. It's just like, shouldn't this be something that you take that seriously, or you want to continue to add it to your overall repertoire?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you the same question then, Cliff. If the agent's struggling, what's your advice to them?
I would have to just piggyback on what Jonathan said. It's like you just got to figure out what the root of the problem is and then tackle it from there. And obviously you want to, go back and test it to say, okay, well, if you're not buying enough leads, let's get you some leads, and then let's see how it goes from there. Now, if this problem is still happening as well, it's really probably not the leads. It probably was the leads plus something else as well. You just got to go back in and try to like figure out what that root is, or what you can say the additional problem is, and fix whatever problem that particular agent might be having. And then from there, I feel like they'll end up growing from there, obviously developing and honing their own skills and things like that. So yeah, I would agree with what Jonathan said. Yeah.
So next question is, what's your daily routine?
Daily routine. Okay. So I wake up right on the dot, 5:50 is my alarm.
Okay.
I don't know why I have a 5:50. I just do. Me and my wife, we go to the gym together. I try to be home by 7, just to get all my leads ready. If I need to print them out, print them out. Typically, I'll make my daughter breakfast before she goes to school. And then I dial at 8 o'clock. Start at 8. From 8, I tell myself I'm not going to get out of this chair till lunchtime. So typically by lunchtime, I have almost all the appointments that I need. If not, I give myself a little 2-hour break. So from 12 to 2, I'll take lunch. I'll do any back end work that I need to do, reach out back to clients, whatever it may be. And then I'm back at it from 2 till whenever I finish. And that's typically, just my dial days. So Mondays, I'll do for my in-home. And then Thursday through Saturday, everything telesale.
So do you find yourself getting better results dialing earlier in the morning or in the
Oh,
afternoon?
I prefer the mornings, especially because if you just can knock everything out in the morning, um, you're just gonna have an advantage.
Oh,
You know, you get a lot more done in the afternoon that you don't have to worry about anymore. Yeah,
Plus it's stacking up the wins like we were talking about
Yeah,
earlier, right?
yeah.
If you already know you're already booked up for the next few days early
Yeah.
in the day, and then you have the rest of the day you can go and enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. I always try. Obviously, the minimum everyone says have 15 appointments minimum. I like to personally have like 20, just because you're gonna have those people that just no show you, don't open the door. So you always have to, make up for that. So I always like to book 20. Um, and then typically, I'm helping to probably almost, if not half, maybe a little less than half of those. So yeah,
How's your show ratio?
yeah.
How's your show ratio?
Oh, probably like 75%.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not bad.
yeah.
What about you, Cliff? What's your daily routine?
Daily routine on a good day, I definitely don't wake up at 5:30. I'm not gonna lie to you. I usually go to sleep like around 2, so I'm up at like 6:30 more or less, 6:37. And what I like to do, what I've recently started doing actually, I wasn't doing this before, but I've been talking to Lisa a lot, and performance coach for those of you who don't know who she is. And I've been journaling a lot. So what I do is journal in the morning, and I'll do a little bit of meditation, and then from there I'll just go on like a quick little run just to kind of get my body going. And usually in the morning, my day doesn't really start as far as like when it comes to like recruiting and stuff until like around 10:30, 11, because I'm really recruiting like pretty heavy out there in like Florida. And just for compliance reasons, like I can't be like sending out anything as far as like recruiting to any of these people until around, I think it's like 7 for them or something. But basically, the time works out.
Yep.
So I start getting calls as far as like recruiting calls like around 11 a.m. And then from 11 a.m. till about 3:30 more or less, I'm getting calls through that time. And after that, I'm just really on social media, just contacting different agents on LinkedIn, contact different agents from different agencies. I don't want to just name any agencies right now, but just different agencies, trying to get them on board, trying to show them the opportunity and see basically what I can bring to this organization to obviously bring value to me, but also bring value to them. So my day is like strictly just recruiting, and also, touching bases with my agents within the agency and helping my downlines if they have any questions and so on and so forth. So it kind of, that's on you can say a real good day. It's pretty spanned out well as far as like the amount of time that I use. On a bad day, sometimes a little slow because sometimes the recruiting doesn't necessarily come in as good. But for the most part, that's how my days looks. It's pretty simple. It's just geared on recruiting.
Yeah.
So the better routine that we all have, I mean, the more successful we can be. I mean, the more predictable things will be, because at least you did your part.
Yeah.
Isn't it the worst feeling like you went through your day and you're like, I wish I did this or I wish I did that. But if you have a really good routine, I mean, you already know you took care of those things because you're leaving all the thinking part to the actual challenges that come up as you're doing it.
Yeah.
Rather than burning that bandwidth on, oh, did I do this or what should I do next? Or, having a good routine, it'll really change like your discipline, your habits, everything else.
Yeah, especially when you're working from home, you have to have a lot of discipline. When I first started, I don't know how many bathroom trips I would take, how many snack breaks I would take. And you just gotta tell yourself, you know what, I'm gonna sit here till lunchtime. It has to get done because you don't want to mess with your subconscious and take those losses. That's only gonna affect you in the long run.
Do your kids let you work? I mean, do they distract you?
Most of the time they burgeon. They'll start dancing, play with Alexa, and I tell them, hey, you know what? I need to get back to work. You guys need to get out, and they'll get out.
You have an office?
Yeah. So I have my own office at my home. I do have an office near me. I personally just like to dial from home. And if I have any questions, I already have Terrence or you to reach out to, so I don't really have no issues. Yeah.
All right. Final question. Aside from money, what do you do this for?
I only do anything for my family. It's been like that since day one. When I made the decision to come here, my decision, what I always thought was I need to make sure I take care of them. I have to make the right decision for them. I could care less about myself, right? So to me, it's obviously we make good money here, right? But it's also taking advantage of your life. Sometimes we just get stuck on like, you have to go to college, you have to do that, you have to find a good job, 9 to 5 job, right? You get so used to that, and it's like your bubble's so small. And coming here, it just opens your mind up to many things, and you won't settle for less anymore. That's for sure. And I wish just people would realize that, and that's one of the reasons why I post, because people don't realize those things, that there's so much more out there, but you just got to open your mind and be open to it.
Do you think there's a lot of people in your area where you live? Do you think there's a lot of people that could use something like this?
Oh, anybody could. I came from the construction industry. This has nothing to do with whatever I was doing. So I feel like a lot of people are scared. Like, I have no idea what that is. I didn't either. They simply just told me, buy these leads, call them, go help them out, right? So obviously I'm gonna take over my area and help out as many get people as much as we can on board. Yeah.
Well, if people want to work with you, how do they find you?
Yeah, so they could hit me up on Instagram, Jonathan _ Reynoso. And then just DM me and I'll help you out as best as I can.
All right. Before we wrap up, Clifton, aside from money, what do you do this for?
Aside from money, it's 100% for the money. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. It's 100% for the money and the pursuit of freedom,
Yeah.
and the people you can say that I care so much about to also buy them freedom. Because the way I see it is like I want to be able to enjoy this life, whatever how many other years I have. I want to enjoy it to the best of my ability, and have it whatever life has to offer.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is by getting this money. So it's 100% about the money for me. And also, obviously, the family is involved as well, because without that money, I can't show them that good life either.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's about the money.
I was gonna say money's
Big
just
facts.
paper. It's what you do with it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about the,
It's
it's
like-
about
like
the money.
for
You
you.
know what I'm
That's
saying?
just for me. I'm like,
For the
okay,
freedom.
what are you gonna do with that money?
Yeah, for the freedom,
Yeah.
man.
Like that.
To enjoy life,
Yeah.
to help them enjoy life.
It costs money to live.
Yeah,
Facts.
that's for sure.
Facts. Costs
So I mean,
money.
money is not the most important thing for sure, but the thing is, it's the quickest, easiest way to exchange value, right?
Yeah.
So if you want something back, I mean, you almost kind of have to have money, unless you're in such a niche place where you can exchange whatever value that you have in other ways. But just make your money.
Yeah.
I know. But yeah, I mean that's good answers. I mean, I'm always curious to see like what people think about those little things, because I mean that says a lot about how are you gonna run your day-to-day stuff. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming in
Yeah, no problem.
and joining us, making the drive.
Yeah.
As always, Appreciate it. So for all you guys that are out here, appreciate you guys spending some time with us this week. Special thanks to Jonathan Reynoso and Clifton Henry for hopping on with us. Thank you to you all for producing the show. And then for all of you guys, let's go out there and just apply some of this stuff. I mean, none of this is like super complicated. We just got to go out there and figure out what we want, figure out what we're willing to do for it, what we're willing to give up for it, and let's just go out and pursue it. Let's go out there and be elite, guys.